What kind of parent would name their newborn child the end of the world? Sounds pretty harsh, right? But what if I told you that according to the book of Genesis, one father had absolutely no choice? We're about to dig into exactly why.
So let's start with this number, 969. 969 years. According to the biblical record, that's the longest a single human being has ever lived. And the man who holds that record? His name was Methuselah. You hear Methuselah, you think old age, right? But here's the twist. Hidden inside his name and that incredibly long life is a secret. And honestly, it's a pretty chilling one.
So that brings us to the core mystery. Why on earth would his father give him a name that literally means, when he dies, judgment comes? It just doesn't add up, does it? The man who lived the longest, carrying a name that's basically a doomsday clock. Well, the answer? It's incredible. It reveals a powerful message about divine patience and, believe it or not, perfect timing.
Okay, so to really get a handle on this name, we have to go back in time. We need to understand the world Methuselah was born into. And let me tell you, this was not a peaceful time. We're talking about an era that was just spiraling out of control, a world that was practically begging for a divine response.
Just listen to this description from Genesis. The Lord saw how great the wickedness of the human race had become, that every inclination of the thoughts of the human heart was only evil all the time. Wow. Think about that phrasing, not just a little bit of evil or evil some of the time, only evil all the time. That was the state of the world. And it's right in the middle of this total darkness that Methuselah's father, a man named Enoch, gets a message that would change everything.
You see, Enoch wasn't just any guy. He was a father, sure, but the scriptures describe him in a really unique way. It says he walked with God. And because he had this incredibly close relationship, he was given something, a prophetic burden that must have been unbelievably heavy to carry.
I mean, can you just imagine that for a second? You're about to have a baby. You're getting ready to welcome this new life into your family, and then God tells you that the entire world is on a collision course with destruction. That's exactly what happened. God revealed to Enoch that a massive world-ending flood was coming. Judgment was on its way.
So what does Enoch do? He names his newborn son based on this terrifying prophecy. Now, you have to remember, in the ancient world, a name wasn't just a label like it is for us today. It was a statement, a declaration of who you were, your purpose, your destiny. And the name Methuselah, it's a combination of two Hebrew words, muth, which means death, and shalach, which means descend. Put them together, and what do you get? His death shall send it. His name wasn't a curse, it was a warning, a living, breathing prophecy walking the earth for everyone to see.
And this is where the story gets even more incredible. It shows you the other side of this whole prophecy. Theologian James M. Boyce puts it perfectly. He says Enoch was told that when his son died, the flood would come. So think about it. Every single day that Methuselah was alive was another day that judgment was held back. His life wasn't just a freakishly long one. No, it was a sign of God's grace. A 969-year-long period of patience, a massive window of opportunity for the world to turn back.
So what we're looking at here is basically a 969-year countdown. Methuselah's entire life was this divinely orchestrated clock, ticking down to judgment. And all those dates and ages you read about in Genesis, they're not just random family tree details. They are the actual markers on this countdown.
Let's lay it out. The countdown starts the moment Methuselah is born. At 187, he has a son, Lamech. Fast forward a bit, and when Methuselah is 369, his grandson Noah, that Noah, is born. And of course, the countdown ends when Methuselah dies at age 969. Now, these aren't just interesting family facts, these are the numbers we need to see if the prophecy actually came true.
All right, this is the moment of truth. This is where it all clicks into place. Did the prophecy actually happen? Well, let's just do the math. We'll use the exact numbers given to us in the book of Genesis.
Okay, number 1. We start with Methuselah's age when his son, Lamech, was born. Genesis chapter 5 tells us he was 187.
Next up, we need Lamech's age when his son, Noah, was born. And the text says he was 182.
And finally, the last piece of the puzzle, and this one is crucial. Genesis chapter 7. It tells us Noah's age when the great flood began. He was 600 years old. So, you ready? Let's add them up. We have 187 years from Methuselah's birth to Lamech's. Add to that the 182 years until Noah is born, and then add Noah's 600 years of life before the flood. What do you get?
187 plus 182 plus 600 equals 969.
It's undeniable. The math is perfect. Methuselah died in the exact same year that the Great Flood began. The prophecy hidden in his name, "His death shall send it," was fulfilled with absolute mathematical precision. The countdown hit 0 the year he died. Just incredible.
So, what are we supposed to take away from this? What does this amazing story, tucked away in a biblical family tree, actually mean? Well, it's a really profound message about two big ideas: mercy and justice.
First, you've got this 969-year grace period. I mean, think about that. That is an unbelievable amount of patience, giving humanity almost 1,000 years to change its ways. But then there's the other side of the coin. His death signals that God's patience, while vast, does have a limit. When the time came, the promised judgment arrived. And finally, this story is a powerful testament to precision. It shows us that God's prophecies aren't just vague ideas. They are fulfilled without a single error, down to the very year.
And all of this really leaves you with a pretty mind-bending question, doesn't it? The story of Methuselah is this incredible reminder that sometimes the deepest truths are hiding in plain sight, in numbers and names we might just glance over. So if a 969-year countdown was so perfectly embedded in the life of just one man, it really makes you wonder, what other hidden messages are just waiting for us to discover?